Bhagavad Gita informs us that in this body there is a proprietor. I am the proprietor and others are the proprietors of their bodies. I say my hand, but not I hand. Since it is my hand, I am different from the hand, being its owner. Similarly, we speak of my eye, my leg, my this, my that. In the midst of all of these objects which belong to me, where am I? The search for the answer to this question is the process of meditation. In real meditation, we ask, where am I? What am I? We cannot find the answers to these questions by any material effort, and because of this, all the universities are setting these questions aside. They say it is too difficult a subject, or they brush it aside, it is irrelevant. Thus, engineers direct their attention to creating and attempting to perfect the horseless carriage and wingless bird. Formerly, horses were drawing carriages and there was no air pollution. But now there are cars and rockets and the scientists are very proud. We have invented horseless carriages and wingless birds. They boast. Although they invent imitation wings for the airplane or rocket, they cannot invent a soulless body. When they are able to actually do this, they will deserve credit. But such an attempt would necessarily be frustrated, for we know that there is no machine that can work without a spirit soul behind it. Even the most complicated computers need trained men to handle them. Similarly, we should know that this great machine, which is known as the cosmic manifestation, is manipulated by a supreme spirit, that is Krishna. Scientists are searching for the ultimate cause or the ultimate controller of this material universe and are postulating different theories and proposals. But the real means for knowledge is very easy and perfect. We need only hear from the perfect person, Krishna. By accepting the knowledge imparted in Bhagavad Gita, anyone can immediately know that this great cosmic machine, of which the earth is a part, is working so wonderfully because there is a driver behind it, Krishna. Our process of knowledge is very easy. Krishna's instruction, Bhagavad Gita, is the principal book of knowledge given by the Adi Purush himself, the Supreme Primeval Person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is indeed the perfect person. It may be argued that although we have accepted him as a perfect person, there are many others who do not. But one should not think that this acceptance is whimsical. He is accepted as the perfect person on the evidence of many authorities. We do not accept Krishna as perfect simply on the basis of our whims or sentiments. No, Krishna is accepted as God by many Vedic authorities like Vyasadeva, the author of all Vedic literatures. The treasure house of knowledge is contained in the Vedas, and their author, Vyasadeva, accepts Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Vyasadeva's spiritual master, Narad, also accepts Krishna as such. Narad's spiritual master, Brahma, accepts Krishna not only as the Supreme Person, but the Supreme Controller as well. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. The Supreme Controller is Krishna. There is no one in the creation who can claim that he is not controlled. Everyone, regardless of how important or powerful, has a controller over his head. Krishna, however, has no controller, therefore he is God. He is the controller of everyone, but there is no one superior to him, no one to control him, nor is there anyone equal to him, no one to share his platform of absolute control. He was not made God, but he is God. We should know then on the basis of authority that behind this gigantic material nature, the cosmic manifestation, there is God, Krishna, and that he is accepted by all Vedic authorities. Acceptance of authority is not new for us. Everyone accepts authority in some form or another. For education, we go to a teacher or to a school or simply learn from our father and mother. They are all authorities and our nature is to learn from them. In our childhood, we asked, "Father, what is this?" And father would say, "This is a pen. This is a table." In this way, from the very beginnings of life, a child learns from his father and mother. He learns the names of things and the basic relations of one thing to another by questioning his parents. A good father and mother never cheat when their son inquires from them. They give exact and correct information. Similarly, if we get spiritual information from an authority and if the authority is not a cheater, then our knowledge is perfect. If we attempt to reach conclusions by dint of our own speculative powers, however, we are subject to fall into error. The process of induction by which reasoning from particular facts or individual cases one can arrive at a general conclusion is never a perfect process because we are limited and our experience is limited. It will always remain imperfect. If we receive information from the perfect source, Krishna, and if we repeat that information, then what we are speaking can also be accepted as perfect and authoritative. The process of parampara or disciplic succession is this very process of hearing from Krishna or from authorities who have accepted Krishna and repeating exactly what they have said. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna recommends this process of knowledge. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. Formerly, knowledge was passed down by great saintly kings who were the authorities. In previous ages, however, these kings were rishis, great learned scholars and devotees, and because they were not ordinary men, the government which they headed worked very nicely. There are many instances in Vedic civilization of kings who attained perfection as devotees of God. For example, Dhruv Maharaj went to the forest to search out God and by practice of severe penance and austerity found God within 6 months. Although he was only a 5-year-old prince with a very delicate body, he was successful because he followed the directions of his spiritual master Narad. The first month, Dhruv Maharaj was in the forest. He simply ate some fruits and vegetables once every 3 days and drank a little water every 6 days. He finally restricted his inhalation of air and stood for 6 months on one leg only. After he executed these severe austerities for half a year, God became manifest before him, eye to eye. It is not necessary for us to practice such severe austerities, but simply by following in the footsteps of Vedic authorities, we also can see God eye to eye. This vision of God is the perfection of life.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.